Hello friends, so I'm going to do a few read alouds with you every day, and today's one, I'm going to go back a little bit. The chapter is called Together Again. Don't growl. And the reason is because when I put it on this computer, it doesn't have the same pages that we had before. So we were on like page 165 or something in the book, and on here I'm on 332. Anyway, less rambling. This is Together Again. Alex glanced over his shoulder as he pushed the 3D door closed behind him. This door was identical to Aaron's regular door that led into the dormitory hallway. The two doors now stood side by side like twins. Alex wondered what would happen if the 3D drawing were removed from Mr. Today's office wall. Would the magical door disappear? For a brief moment, Alex felt claustrophobic. What if he couldn't get back to Arteme? He shuddered and waited for his eyes to adjust completely to the dim moonlight. There was no way Alex could do this without scaring Aaron. He knew that. Alex stood next to his bed. His stomach flipping, knees shaking. At first, Alex tried to will Aaron awake, but that didn't work. Aaron's chest rose and fell rhythmically. "Aaron," Alex whispered. "It's me." The boy didn't stir. Alex closed his eyes and breathed in a shaky breath, and then blew it out slowly and opened his eyes again. He stepped closer and touched Aaron's arm. "Aaron," he said a little louder. "Aaron, it's me, Alex." Aaron sucked in a breath and rolled to his side. His eyes opened, blinked. "Aaron, wake up! It's me. It's Alex." Aaron reared up wildly, scrambling on his backside. He let out a shout. "Who's there?" Alex cringed. "Shh, Aaron, it's Alex." Aaron's mouth fell open, a look of intense fear on his face. "No, leave me alone." "What?" Aaron blinked and scooted to the far corner of his bed, his face anguished. "Stop torturing me." "Aaron, please, keep your voice down before you wake the whole dormitory. Listen, I know you're scared." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "I'm not afraid of a dream. Alex is dead. Leave me alone." He spat out the words. This was not the way Alex had thought the conversation would go. He hadn't known what to expect, but whatever it wasn't this. "Aaron," Alex sighed. He looked around the room in the dark, his eyes having adjusted now, and found a lamp. He lit it, and a low light filled the room. "I'm not dead. I came back to rescue you." Aaron was silent, staring. His jaw quivered as he regained control of his emotions. And soon his face took on the old, familiar, serious look. His voice controlled and cold. "You have 3 minutes to explain yourself before I call the guards," he said. Alex's mouth fell open. You're Joe," he began to say, and then he realized where he was, and that, of course, Aaron wasn't joking. Aaron wouldn't even know the meaning of the word. Alex closed his mouth and sighed. "Aaron, it's me, Alex. Your brother. Your twin. I'm not dead. But you will be soon if you don't listen to me. If you don't come with me. Please. What are you talking about? How did you get in here? That cold voice. Emotion was completely gone from his brother's face now. Aaron wasn't glad to see Alex. Alex's heart began to, crack. Oh. You'd better explain. Alex bit his lip. Get it together. Aaron, please. Alex couldn't help it. He reached out his hand. Haven't you missed me? Not even a little? Hot tears sprang to Alex's eyes. Blast it! He squeezed his eyes shut and turned his head away so Aaron wouldn't see, and then sank down to sit on the edge of Aaron's bed. He took a deep shuddering breath and let it out again. I miss you, he whispered. Aaron's face softened the tiniest bit. Alex, he said, if you aren't a dream, where have you been hiding all this time? Did you escape from the Eliminators? How could you survive this long? This is impossible. Alex knew he had to do this right. It was his only chance. He turned back toward his brother when he had composed himself, and he spoke evenly, like he had done when he lived in Quill. If I tell you, you must promise me you won't tell anyone. Aaron narrowed his eyes. He was quiet for a moment. All right. I live in a secret world. A wonderful, magical world of art and creativity. Aaron stared. Now I know for sure that I'm dreaming. It's a world very different from Quill. We have fun there. We paint and draw and listen to music. I have no idea what you're talking about or what you want from me. I want you to be with me, Aaron. Remember when we made houses in the mud with the bone? Do you? That's called trying. You loved it, I could tell. But you were too good to admit it, even to yourself. Something flashed across Aaron's face and disappeared into a frown. I had no infractions. His voice was cold again. You are like me, Aaron, whether you believe it or not. If you come with me right now, I will show you. Come with you where? To my home in Artime, where we will keep you safe. Safe from what? And who is we? We are the Unwanteds, and safe from General Blair's son, Will, who wants to kill you and take your place. Aaron sat for a long minute, then turned toward the wall, lay down, and closed his eyes. Will Blair is dead. He was unwanted 3 years ago. Aaron! Stop torturing me. I am not allowed to be having all these dreams. I'm not the one who killed you. It's not my fault you couldn't follow the law. Now go away and never come back. Aaron, don't be an idiot. I'm not a dream. See? Alex hauled off and punched Aaron in the shoulder. Great cats, said Aaron. What did you do that for? To prove to you that I'm real and alive and sitting here. Why do you keep thinking I'm a dream? Have you been having the dream too? The one where we are together again and I show you magic? No, Aaron said too quickly. I have forgotten all about you. You are dead. We don't remember the dead. Alex stared into Aaron's eyes. I am not dead. And I am happy for the first time in my life. You have no idea how happy you can be if you just come with me. I don't want to be happy. Happy causes infractions. I want to be intelligent and strong, and I am. I am wanted. Assistant Secretary to the High Priest Justine. Now, get off my bed, unwanted. In Artemy, there are no laws like in Quill. No infractions, and there, everybody has skills and talent. Everyone. You would too. Alex felt the tears coming back again, and this time he cried openly, shoving the tears off his face as fast as they fell. Quill is an evil place, Aaron. The High Priest Justine and the government are telling you lies. And soon you will be killed. And I will be so sad. Alex leaned over and hugged his brother's stiff body. I know you don't understand yet, but I'm already so sad for you. He stood up. Will Blair is coming. He'll enter Quill and kill you. The only warning you have is mine. Please, Aaron. Please come. Aaron sat up and shook his head. No. Now go. Finally, dejected, Alex convinced himself he would get nowhere with Aaron. So he turned to leave. Aaron got out of bed and stood. Why should I believe you? He asked, his voice dull and even. And where did that extra door come from? He muttered, rubbing his eyes now. Alex turned back to face his brother, memories flooding back in his mind. The tears poured freely down his face now, but he was not ashamed. He was proud to live in a world where people could express their feelings. Why should you believe me? He repeated. Why should you believe me? Alex's voice turned raspy. I should be the one to ask that of you. After all you've done, you reported Samid, didn't you? Aaron's eyes flickered. Alex watched Aaron carefully, and for the first time in his life, he saw the depth of the chilling hardness in Aaron's eyes. Alex broke into a cold sweat as new thoughts, new realizations surfaced. He whispered, You reported me, too. It was not a question. For Alex, there was no question anymore. He stared at his brother, forcing Aaron to either hold his gaze or look away. Aaron's eyes filled with contempt. Get out of my sight, you filthy, useless, unwanted. He spat the words out like icicles. I did my duty. You failed. I hold no blame for anyone else's failures. Not yours, not Samid's, not that ranger girl, and especially not the general's son. You are all deserving of your horrible fate. There was a terrible pause, the identical twins standing face to face in the tiny dormitory room. Aaron's jaw squared harshly. His nostrils flared. And his dark eyes as lifeless as marbles. With his mirror image absorbed the insults, his deep chocolate eyes changing from anger to hurt to pity. Alex spoke quietly. You're right about one thing. We are all deserving. Thank you, he said. You did us all a great favor. And with that, Alex turned to the magical door and stumbled blindly through it into the brightly lit office of Mr. Today, before the shuddering, angry sobs broke loose. And then the large, warm arms enveloped him, the arms of the mage himself, who held Alex tightly and let him snivel on his robe, and then patted his back, saying, There, Alex. There, until Alex could stop sobbing long enough to speak. He looked at Mr. Today, all of the secrets of the past several months dancing around him, and he knew there was no way to lie around this mess. I'm sorry, sir, Alex whispered. Mr. Today nodded. I know, my boy. I know. Let's hear everything about it now, all right? He patted a chair and urged Alex to sit. And then he moved behind the desk and sat as well. They stayed for a moment in contemplative silence. And then the 3D door creaked open once again. And a disheveled, dark-haired boy with eyes as round as saucers peered into Mr. Today's office. Okay, that's Monday's Read Aloud. I hope everyone's watching these because, I don't want to spoil alert anyone. So what I'd like you to do is grab any book you got there. Green book, blue book, preferably. Is the green one? I don't know which one it is. Anyway, I want you to write for me, is Aaron evil? Is there any way for him to be redeemed at this point? Or is he just bad evil? I want you to answer that question for me. And you can give that question to me next week for Clanks. So just write it on a piece of paper, in a book, preferably the book, so you can just hand all these things that you write to me back to me, okay? Is he evil? But why? Why can he not be redeemed? That's what I want to know. Thank you. Have a good one.